guys, welcome back to our channel. I hope everyone fine and doing well. This video is all about 11 books about death that are bursting with life. Sometimes, we all need a good cathartic cry. If you're in the mood for inspiring, bittersweet, and revelatory storytelling, pick up one of these books that may seem, on the surface, about death, but actually hold some of the richest truths about life. In these 11 must-reads, characters cope with loss, forge new bonds, and rediscover what it means to live, despite and because of the grief they've faced. By turns funny, sad, romantic, and stirring, these books will break your heart only to heal it all over again. Before start this video, kindly subscribe to our channel. Okay, let's get into the video. Together We Will Go by J. Michael Straczynski. At only 30, Mark knows he is about to die and plans a show-stopping trip. In a junkie bus driven by an army vet, Mark sets off on a cross-country trip and invites anyone else ready to end it all to join. His companions include a bipolar neo-hippie, a coder with a heart defect, a young woman bullied for her weight, and another woman with a chronic pain disorder. The group plans to drive off a cliff together, but the journey they take to get there will prove to be the true highlight of this unforgettable journey. The 1 in a Million Boy by Monica Wood. Ona is 104 years old and believes nothing can surprise her anymore. Despite her misgivings, she begins to open up to the 11-year-old boy who has been told to help her out every Saturday morning. When he stops showing up, Ona assumes he's left her like everyone else, that is, until his parents arrive on her doorstep to finish their son's job after his unexpected death. A bittersweet and heartfelt tale about love, loss, and life's surprises, The 1 in a Million Boy is about the life-saving bonds we form through grief. Faye, Faraway by Helen Fisher. In this emotionally poignant story that will appeal to fans of The Time Traveler's Wife, Faye is a dedicated mother and wife who takes every opportunity she can to remind her daughters how much she loves them. When she suddenly wakes up in 1977, Faye realizes she has a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to reconnect with the mother she lost at the age of 7. As adult Faye begins to befriend her mother, she realizes that soon she will have to decide between the people she loved in the past and those she's responsible to in the present. Summerbird Blue by Akemi Dawn Bowman. All Rumi has ever wanted to do was make music with her sister, Lee. So, when Lee dies in a car accident, Rumi is left devastated. Unsure how to help Rumi cope with her grief, Rumi's mother sends her to live with her aunt in Hawaii. There, with the help of neighbors, a wildly happy young surfer dude and an emotionally wounded 80-year-old, Rumi will rediscover what it means to live and find the inspiration to finish the song she and Lee always dreamed about. The Possible World by Liza Haller and Schwartz. 6-year-old Ben is the only survivor of a horrific crime who can't remember or face what he experienced. Lucy is the overworked ER doctor on duty when Ben is brought in, who finds herself determined to help him, even if that means making him remember the worst night of his life. Claire is a nearly 100-year-old woman who has a lifetime's worth of secrets and it's finally time to confess. In this captivating and moving novel, these three people's paths will converge in a story about motherhood and finding meaning in grief. Self-Portrait with Boy by Rachel Lyon. In this compulsive and provocative debut, Lou Riley is a struggling photographer living in gentrifying Brooklyn in the early 90s. During a self-portrait session, she accidentally captures a young boy falling to his death outside her window. The photograph is stunning, and it could make Lou famous, but it would also complicate her budding relationship with the boy's devastated mother Kate. As Lou and Kate are brought together by grief and unexpected attraction, their relationship may be what saves them both, or what Lou must sacrifice to make her dreams come true. Yoke by Mary H. K. Choi. Sisters Jane and June were as close as sisters could be when they moved from Seoul to San Antonio to New York together. But over the years they've grown further apart. June lives in a lonely apartment with a soul-crushing job in finance while Jane can't graduate, get a job, or pick the right man. When June is diagnosed with cancer, Jane is the only person who can help her, and to do so Jane must acknowledge that she might need some help too. My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry by Frederick Backman. From the author of A Man Called Ove, My Grandmother Asked Me to Tell You She's Sorry is a humorous and poignant tale of friendship and grief. 7-year-old Elsa knows that she and her 77-year-old grandmother are different. But Elsa also knows that her grandmother's magnificent fairy tales are part of who she is. After her grandmother's death, Elsa finds letters her grandmother wrote, apologizing to everyone she'd wronged. With these in hand, Elsa embarks on a journey to deliver the letters, a journey that leads her to the edges of her grandmother's fairy tales and back. Millard Salter's Last Day by Jacob M. Oppel. In this heartwarming story, Millard, who is terrified of being an old and lonely burden, has decided to end his own life before it's too late. On his last day, he sets to wrapping up loose ends, having a final talk with his chronically unemployed son, confronting his estranged first wife, visiting his second wife's grave, and saying goodbye to Delilah, the widow he has unexpectedly fallen in love with. But Millard's plans go awry as his family proves to have more in store for him than he anticipated. Bare Necessity by James Gould Bourne. Bare Necessity is a lovely and inspiring story of overcoming grief in which a father and son find an unusual way to reconnect. Things haven't been easy since Danny's wife's unexpected death. Danny is struggling to help his 11-year-old son, Will, recover from the tragedy, and he's lost his construction job. Desperate to pay rent, Danny buys a Ragged Panda costume and becomes a street performer in the park, where he begins chasing bullies away from Will. Even though Will hasn't spoken to Danny in the years since his mother's death, he does start to confide in his new, unlikely friend. Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead by Emily Austen. Gilda is a 20-something lesbian and atheist whose rabid anxiety has her obsessed with death. Desperate for some relief, she responds to an ad for free therapy at a Catholic church, but when the priest in charge thinks she's there for an interview, Gilda can't bear to correct him. Soon, Gilda has replaced the church's recently deceased receptionist, Grace, and strikes up an email correspondence with Grace's old friend. Unable to break the news of Grace's death, Gilda continues impersonating Grace until mysterious circumstances surrounding Grace's death forces her to come clean in this hysterical debut. I hope you enjoyed this video. Share your thoughts in the comment section. Have a great day! Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe, follow me on Instagram, link in the description. Stay connected, #learn something. Bye.